Hey Clashers, what are the best pets for the town level 14, 15 and 16 depending on what strategy you are playing right now? Because by now we have a ton of different pets available to us, so the question is, what are the best pets to pick and to upgrade for you depending on whatever strategy you're playing? So let's dive into the first strategy. And we're starting with the best pet combinations for all of those different dragon type attacks, which means elected dragons, super dragons, dragon and dragon riders, all of those different strategies. And for channel 14, well, we don't really have that many pets right there. So this combination is pretty much classic for all of those different strategies. Yak on the king, unicorn on the queen, then the owl on the warden, and Lassie on the royal champion. But this changes now on town hall 15 because we're getting 4 new pets. And those want to be used, and they're actually really good. Frosty on the Barbarian King is a really nice combination because it makes sure that there is less damage on your heroes. The Queen with the Unicorn is the perfect fit because it makes sure that she's staying alive a little longer, providing more damage and funneling your Electro Dragons or any dragon type through the core, and they're staying stacked up together so they can provide more damage. Then the Phoenix on the Warden is a super common combination because if it's going down eventually on the back end, it can provide tankiness then to the Royal Champ. On top of that, as well, we do not have a pet which deals damage with the Warden, which especially for Electro Dragon attacks is nice because they can then get more chains off, which then is really good for you as an attacker. Diggy and the Royal Champion is just the perfect fit for Town Hall 16, but this perfect combination changes when you're moving up to Town Hall 16. Diggy is going to be replaced by the strongest pet in the game, which is the Fox. The Fox is just so strong, and the combination and synergy with the Royal Champ together is unmatched. It's crazy how good this is. The Warden combination does not change, the Queen combination does not change, and the King combination does not change either on Town Hall 16 for the pet combinations if you're talking about dragon attacks. So with that, you should know what you're going for, what you should upgrade as you're moving through Town Hall 14, 15 and 16, what you should prioritize, because pet-wise, this is then the final combination. Let's move on to the next strategy. For this category, we're talking about ground follow-up troops, which means Root Riders, Hog Riders, Super Hog Riders, or Super Barbarians, for example. All of those follow-up troops which you can use after a Queen Charge, after a Lightning Opening, or, for example, after a Super Archer Blimp. We're not talking about Super Boulders and something like that. We're talking about that a bit later. But now let's dive into the Root Rider, Super Hog, or Super Barbarian action. For all of those different follow-up troops on ground, or even just spamming them in, the Town of 14 version is pretty much set in stone. As I said, we do not really have much variation out there for Town of 14 pets. It's Yak King, Queen Unicorn, Warden with the Owl, and Lassie on the Royal Champion. But this changes obviously again with the Town Hall 15 and more pets getting added, which then is going to be the Phoenix on the King, which is just really giving you a lot of tanking, and it's just the King is getting way more value. Then for the Queen, the Unicorn, which is like a perfect fit, which won't really change a lot over the different strategies or different town level. And then on the Warden, we have the Lizard. For this one, I want to talk a bit more about that because I feel like we have more options here. We could use possibly the Lizard, but as well the Frosty on this one. Both of them are really solid. The Frosty might be better if you have really good Headhunter timing. But I feel like a lot of people don't really value and time those headhunters correctly, and I feel like this is why the Lizard is just the better option on default. Something as well, as long as the Barbarian King bug is still working, you can use the Frosty on the Barbarian King as well, but because the King is really unlikely to go down with this bug and interaction with the Barbarian King Gauntlet and the Warden ability, so Frosty works there really well as well, but that is up to you how much risk you want to take. As soon as the bug is fixed, I would just go with the Phoenix. On the Royal Champ, we're going with a Diggy. Because of Town Hall 15, that's just the pretty much set pet. It's like the perfect match on Town Hall 15. But this again is changing on Town Hall 16. As with the air spam strategies, we have now the Fox on the Royal Champion because this combination is just the most strongest thing there is in the game. Then we're moving Diggy because that is still an incredible strong pet, to the Warden because that's a really good combination as well, which can provide you a lot of tankiness with stunning defensive and making sure that there's less damage versus your troops. We have the Unicorn still on the Queen and the Phoenix still on the Barbarian King, so there has not much really changed. But let's move on to the next strategy, which I have already talked about, the Bowlers and obviously the Witches. Because those troops are like smash type troops. A lot of times you have an opening of a Warden Walk, for example, and then something following this up where those healers from the Warden Walk are switching over to your troops, providing tankiness and obviously enough power to push through the entire base. So Super Witches, Super Bowlers, Titans, or as well a Root Rider Smash can be a really good combination for that. But let's take a look at the pet combinations. For Ton of 14, well, I will mention it yet again. Yak King, Unicorn Queen, Owl with the Warden, and Lassie with the Royal Champion. But pretty much all of them are changing for Town Hall 15 then, because we now have the Phoenix on the King to have more tankiness and overall some more utility for the Barbarian King, the Phoenix, the Unicorn on the Queen, and then now the Lizard on the Warden. This is now a really important topic because yet again, with that Warden Walk, you have a lot of options. Lizard is like the most commonly used high legend pet because you never really know what type of attack you're going to do or what type of base you're going to attack. Which means if you're picking the Owl, that could be completely useless with doing a Warden Walk into the air defense, but as well there's some really solid options you could go in Clan Wars. In Legend, as I said, I would highly recommend the Lizard for Warden Walks. In the Clan War, you have the option of going with the Owl if there is no air defense close by. As well, you can go with Frosty if there should be less damage on your Warden, because those Frost Mites provide some nice tankiness for the Warden. On top of that, you could even go with Lassie, for example, if you want to, because Lassie is tanking quite nicely and having decent DPS as well. But at the same time, I'm not sure if you have really leveled Lassie up, because Lassie otherwise is just such a... not the strongest pet, let's put it that way, right now. So that is then unfortunately if you have not leveled her up. So I guess Lizard, then the Owl or Frosty are your best ways to go if you're planning your attack in the Clan War. Diggy again is going to be the combination for the Royal Champion, but on Town Hall 16 it's going to be replaced with the Fox. So Royal Champ on Town Hall 15 with the Diggy, on Town Hall 16 with the Fox. On Town Hall 16 as well, we're keeping the combinations of the other heroes, so the King with the Phoenix, and then the Queen with the Unicorn, and then the same story again with the Warden. The only pet which is getting added now as well on top of that is you can use even Diggy in the Warden Walk if you want to, but I still think in Legends where you have no control under what type of base you're going to attack, Lizard is still the way to go, especially it's giving you nice speed in the Warden Walk. You can Warden Walk into the defending heroes with this slowdown effect, so overall it's just a really nice all-rounder which gives you nice options with the Warden Walk. But I think there's another strategy left which you should take a look at to make sure that you have the best combinations to use for every town level. And obviously we're talking about Lalo. We have not mentioned Lalo just yet. This is the combination between Lava Hounds and Loons. We're not talking about the opening because those combinations are pretty much fitting for most of those openings. It doesn't matter if you're doing Queen Charge, a type of blimp like Blizzard, Super Archer Blimp, whatever, or for example a Lightning Hero Dive. This is not really relevant for those pet combinations, and let's just dive into it. For Town Hall 14, yet again, nothing has really changed. Yak King, Queen, Unicorn, Warden, Owl, and then the Royal Champion with the Lassie together. On Town Hall 15 though, Phoenix for the Barbarian King yet again is a really great combination. On the Queen, the Unicorn, Owl again on the Warden, that is a great nice as well combination. And then we're keeping Diggy on the Royal Champ. But now on Channel 16 you have a lot of different options, and those options are depending on your type of attack strategy, but let me get into that a little bit deeper. So for the King, nothing really changes. We're keeping the Phoenix on the Barbarian King. On the Queen though, we're going with the Unicorn again, but that Warden, you have now a lot of options. Owl is still a really solid way to go, but if you're luring out the Clan Castle, you might want to switch that up. Because if you're luring out the Clan Castle with like a Queen Charge, with a Hero Dive, with something, then you should go with Diggy. But this is the important thing. You want to make sure that you only use Diggy if the Clan Castle is lured out. Because if you use Diggy on the Warden and you're going with an air attack, and then there's Ice Golems in there and you're luring out the Ice Golems just because you're using the wrong pet, that is kind of painful. This is why if you're in Legends, a lot of times the Owl is just better if you're not really confident that you might lure out the Clan Castle. As long as you're safe to go, that you're luring out the Clan Castle, go with the Diggy, because that's just a lot of times just better. Especially the combination of Diggy on the Warden and then the Fox on the Royal Champ is just a perfect synergy between Lalo attacks as well, because ground, you have the Royal Champ getting turned invisible, you have Diggy nearly always underground, so it's really nicely working together. and this then is working as well better than the owl. But again, it depends on the clan castle and what the plan for that clan castle is for you. Otherwise, that is pretty much the best combinations for every strategy, or more like for every type of strategy and for every category which I have put up. Let me know if I was missing anything, any strategy you would like to know what the best pet combinations is. Let me know if you would like to see anything more like guide-wise in the future, which you would like to see. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.